In this video, we're looking at how we can take a report with multiple header rows and unpivot that into a data layout that we can actually use for analysis. Now, I'm not the first person to do a video about this, but I am going to include a technique that will cut the refresh time in half. Here in Excel is the file we are working with for our example. If you want to get a copy of this file, you can follow the link in the video description box. You'll notice that here we have multiple header rows. The first three rows contain the version as to whether it's actual or budget, the year of 2026 or 2025, and then the quarter of Q1 to Q4. Now, in this example, our cells are merged cells, but this isn't just an issue with merged cells, it also impacts center across selection. We have a merged cell for actual and also for budget, and the same for each of our years. Below that, each of our headers are individual cells. For our item column, we don't have multiple header rows, we just have a single header row. So the question is, how can we take our multiple header rows, flatten them down into a single row so that we can then unpivot and then split those values? To get our data into Power Query, I'm going to select my range of cells, and then in the name box, I'm going to call our range data. And then I'll press return to commit that. Now, in the real world, you probably wouldn't create a named range. You would probably import the sheet from the workbook. But to illustrate this point, this will work for our example. So to get this named range into Power Query, we select that range, and then we can go to data and from table/range. That now launches the Power Query editor. Let's take a look down our applied steps list. Power Query has automatically applied the changed type step. We don't need that. And we also have the promoted header step that we also don't need. So let's also delete that. We can now see the impact of having merged cells. For example, our year covered 4 columns. The first cell of those 4 columns now contains the year value, but the remaining 3 columns display null values. So we need to fill these null values before we can then flatten our header rows. That's our setup. So now let's take a look at the transformations that we need to apply to turn this into a usable data set. The first transformation that we want to apply is to remove the total row from column 1. So I will right click on the word total, go to text filters and does not equal. That means we will never have a total row inside our data. The next step we're going to perform is what everyone else tells you to do. They say that you should go to transform and then transpose so that we now have our rows in our columns. However, we don't want to do this yet. The first 3 rows contain the header rows that we want to combine, but we don't do anything else with all the other values. So if we transpose the values and then later in the query transpose them back, all we're doing is increasing refresh time without doing anything with those values. With 8 rows of data, as in our example, it makes little to no difference. But as you can see here, with increasing volumes of data, the query becomes slower and slower, where 100,000 rows refreshes on my PC in 18.5 seconds. But if we apply the technique that I'm about to share, the query will refresh in half that time. So before we transpose our table, we're going to go to Home and Keep Rows, keep the top rows, and because we have 3 header rows, we're going to enter 3 and then click OK. We can now transpose our data. I'll go to Transform and Transpose. Now we want to fill over all of the null values. So I'll hold Shift and select column 3. Then I can right click on the column header, go to Fill and Fill Down. We now have values for each of our rows. Next, we want to combine these 3 columns into a single column. And this is another area where we can improve our query. Normally, people suggest that from the Transform ribbon, we go to Merge Columns. We set the separator as any character that doesn't exist in our dataset. I'm going to select a pipe and then the new column name is irrelevant for this scenario. So I'll click OK. The issue is items that don't have all of those header rows. For example, item is now pipe item. But what we want for this header is just the word item. This is created because we merged the columns inside the transformation ribbon. Instead, let's delete that step, and rather than going to transform, we're going to select all the columns, go to add column, and then merge columns. Our separator is going to be the same pipe character. I'll click OK, and you'll notice that now we don't have pipe item. It displays the value that we want, and that's because when we use the add column of merge columns, Power Query uses a completely different calculation method. I'll now remove the other columns. We're now ready to transpose this column back to a row. From the transform ribbon, I can select transpose. I just want to interrupt things here to tell you about our Excel Academy. That's the place where we help overworked professionals just like you to save time with Excel so they can achieve more while working less. Just head on over to exceloffthegrid.com to find out more. We now have an issue because earlier in our query we removed all of the data so that we only had the header rows. We now need to add those back. If we look in our steps, we had our source and then our filtered rows, and then we kept the first rows. So the last time that all of our data existed was at our filtered rows step. I'm going to come to the end of my query, click on the FX icon, and we want to reference that filtered rows step. I'll select filtered rows from the IntelliSense, and then I'll commit that. So we now have all of our data. Next, we're going to go to the home ribbon. We're going to remove rows, and we're going to remove the top rows. We want to remove the header rows. There were 3 of those, and then I'll click OK. That means we now have 2 steps. Our transposed table 1 has our headers, and our removed top rows has the data. We're going to combine these 2 tables together. I'll click on the FX icon. That will automatically give us the name of our previous step, but before that we want to add our transposed table 1 step. I'll select that from the IntelliSense, and to combine 2 tables together we can use the ampersand character. Now this works because we have the same column names in both of our tables. When we commit that, we now have our header row as the first row and our data below that. We can now use our first row as headers. I'll select that from the ribbon. Power Query has automatically applied the change type step, which we don't need, so I will delete that. Because we have a single header row, we are now ready to unpivot our data. I need to select the item column because that's the column that I want to remain the same. I'll then go to transform, and in the unpivot column section I'm going to click on the drop down arrow and unpivot other columns. Let's select that. As you can see, our data is now unpivoted. We have an item column, an attribute column which contains our previous header row, and then we have the values. Let's split our attribute. I'll select that, and then I can go to split column, and we want to split by delimiter. The delimiter that we applied was a pipe symbol. Power Query has found that for us. I'll then click OK. Once again, Power Query has added the change type step that we don't need, so I will delete that step. We're now ready to rename our columns and apply data types. Attribute 1 will be version. Attribute 2 will be year, and attribute 3 will be quarter. And now let's apply our data types. Item and version, we're going to assign those as text. Year should be a whole number. Quarter, now we could change this so that the quarter only has a number, but this is fine for our example. So let's make this text. And finally, our value is going to be a currency. So let's go and close and load this back into Excel. I'll go to Home. I'll click on the Close and Load drop down and select Close and Load to. we're going to load this as a table on an existing worksheet, and we want this in cell P4. I'll then click OK. And that's it, our query is now complete. We've changed our report with multiple header rows into a clean data layout that we can now use for analysis. And because of the additional steps that we undertook, our query will now refresh faster no matter whether we have 8 rows or 100,000 rows. And that's it, our query is now complete. We've changed our report with multiple header rows into a clean data layout that we can actually use for analysis. And because of the additional steps we undertook, our query will refresh faster. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.